Good morning, ladies. This is Paula again, or Memaw as I like to be called. Here again today with another video for you. I have a new camera person today. My husband Steve is filming this, so welcome Hank. Today I'm going to tell you the best way to eat a banana. It's called banana pudding. Everyone's favorite, and I hope that you enjoy it. This recipe, we'll make a copy of it and show it on the video in a few minutes. Calls for 1½ cups of sugar, 6 tablespoons of flour, 2 cups of milk, 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 egg yolks, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a dash of salt, a box of vanilla wafers, 3 bananas, and meringue if you want it on there. Okay, I'm going to have Steve come around here. I've already got 2 of the eggs cracked, and I'm going to crack the 3rd one. Show you how to get that egg yolk. If you don't have one of these little tools, you can use your hands and just let the yolk or let the egg white run through your fingers. You're going to want to put the egg yolks inside either a non-stick pan or a stainless steel pan. I always find is the best to use for these. With the egg yolks, or the egg yolks, you want to break them up so that they're not a mess in the bottom of your bowl or your pan. To that, you're going to add your 2 cups of milk, and you're going to incorporate that together. You don't want to have your fire on high, so a medium-high heat will work just fine on that. While the egg yolks and milk is getting a little bit warm, we're going to take our 1½ cups of sugar, our 6 tablespoons of flour, and our dash of salt, and we're going to combine that together so that we don't have any lumps in our dry ingredients when we go to put them in to our wet ingredients that we've got warming up on the stove over here. Whisk work great for this. That way you get into the edges of your pan and everything. In your mixture, your liquid mixture doesn't have to be hot, but it does need to be a little bit warm. That keeps the cooking time, once you get everything in the same pan, to not be as long. You're going to want to stir constantly once you do get your ingredients all put together. That way it doesn't scorch and burn on the bottom of your pan. Just going to pour all of the dry ingredients into the pan, and I'm going to start stirring them. Your butter and vanilla extract are the last 2 things that you want to add to your mixture once you get your pudding thickened. They're the last 2 things that go in. Hi folks. We're continuing to stir our pudding mix here. It normally takes about 5 minutes or so to get this to a good thick consistency. You're going to want pudding consistency, not pie consistency, which is why I've got 2 cups of milk in here. If I were making this same base to be a pie, then I would have probably just used about 1½ cups of milk. This same recipe is good for coconut cream pie, banana cream pie. It's basically just a vanilla base. Is what we're making here. I've always thought that dessert was the best part of the meal. It's one that whenever we have company come over, I usually make sure I've got dessert fixed before I've got the meal fixed. And that way you know that the end of your meal is going to be nice and sweet. If you want to turn the camera off, babe, we'll come back in a few minutes when this is all incorporated. Okay, as you can see, our mixture is thickening up a little. It's almost ready for the butter and vanilla. I'm going to go ahead and get those over here. In goes our 3 tablespoons of butter. In goes our teaspoon of vanilla. You can turn the fire off at this point and stir until your butter has melted into the pudding and you can no longer see little butter babies in here. Okay, that's all ready to go. I'm going to take it off and put it over here for a few minutes, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start assembling the bananas. Banana pudding is really a presentation dessert, one that you would almost want to put it in a clear bowl so that you can see all the little vanilla wafers stacked, or vanilla wafers. Is that what they are, vanilla wafers? Lined up, but it doesn't matter what kind of bowl you put it in. I know that when I was a little girl and my mom would make banana pudding, she always put it in the refrigerator to cool off. And the time between that banana pudding cooling off and the time I actually got to eat it seemed like an eternity to a small girl. I don't do that. I just go ahead and assemble it while it's all still warm. You want to line your vanilla wafers up around the edge of your bowl so that when you dip into it, everybody gets a vanilla wafer. You want to peel your bananas. If you've got bananas that have any spots on them, if you want to take those, cut those off, then that's fine. I always try to get all the little strings off of mine before I start putting it in the bowl. And I usually use about 1 banana per layer. Just slice them up into little thin slices. Kind of spread them out once you get that done so that they're kind of in a single layer on top of your vanilla wafers. Get our pudding. Pour a little bit of your pudding, about 1/3 of your pudding, down inside. Get another layer of vanilla wafers and cover up what you just put in there. repeat the process with another banana. Turned warm here in Texas over the past couple of days since we made the last video, and with cooking in the kitchen, it's a rather warm day today. Another layer of pudding. Another layer of vanilla wafers, and then I'm going to do one more layer of bananas. And if you want to top this off when you get through doing your third layer with another layer of vanilla wafers and not put any meringue on it, that is going to be just fine. I started putting the meringue on top of mine because what was I going to do with meringue? What was I going to do with egg whites? You can just end up with so many egg whites. This bowl is a little bit wider at the top than it is at the bottom, and these bananas are rather small, so I'm going to put 2 bananas on this layer. Here goes the last layer of the pudding. I'm going to get a spatula out of the drawer to finish getting the rest of the goods out of the pan. You don't want any of this to go to waste. And it's a little too warm at this stage to simply let the kids lick the bowl. I'm going to put another layer of vanilla wafers on there. By the time you get through, usually you don't have any vanilla wafers left over. I used to, when the grandkids are over and I was making this, any vanilla wafer that was broke, they got to eat. I didn't let them get to decide who held the sack, because they would have all been broken and then we wouldn't have had any vanilla banana pudding. If you wanted to stop here with the recipe, you can. I'm going to go ahead and put a meringue topping on it, which is the 3 egg whites that we used the yolks for. I'm going to put them in my mixer here, and I'm going to turn it on high. You want to beat this until it's stiff peaks. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. That helps incorporate the egg yolks. The egg whites. If you've never read about cream of tartar, it's very interesting. I looked it up read it one day. It says that parlor is a pure natural ingredient that's created as grape juice turns into wine. It is one of the main ingredients in baking powder and used to stabilize beaten egg whites. So there you go, folks. I'm also going to add about 2.5 tablespoons of sugar, granulated sugar. Let's see how our egg whites are doing here. That's going to be good. These ended up being a little more soft peaks, but it's going to be just fine. One thing when you're working with meringue is you want to cover up everything that's underneath it. I really don't know the reasoning behind that. It was just what my mama always told me to do. So I am going to take this now and put it in the oven. I've got the oven temperature set on 450 degrees. And I'm going to set the meringue. I'm going to brown it up a little. And I'll show you the finished product. This usually takes 3 or 4 minutes. And we'll show you the finished product in a few. Okay, our meringue has gotten nice and brown. I'm going to take it out of the oven and show it to you. Isn't that pretty? If you don't like meringue, that's fine. Just either put Cool Whip or some kind of whipped topping on top of it, or just leave it bare with the vanilla wafers on it, and I guarantee you will have a delicious dessert ready for either your family or your friends once we get together again and be around other people. This is all for right now. Bless you and your families. Thank you for watching my videos. It was a very humbling experience getting to see all the comments from the first video I posted. Okay, I'll be back with you again. Thank you. Bye-bye.